countdown time. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sapient. Today we have a photographer turned wipe coder. Hey Ina, what's up? How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Ganesh? Nice to see you and virtually, and thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
You're welcome. How's your day been? What's going on?
Today's been good. I've had a couple of coaching calls with my group coaching mastermind that I run, and I've got some editing as well to do for my pet photography clients. So it's been
Yes.
busy, productive, busy.
Let's talk about photography.
Yeah, sure.
Why and since when?
All right. So I've been doing pet photography since 2020. So I switched to pet photography like pretty much January 2020. And the whole reason was actually stemmed from my dog Mac, who passed away
Mhm.
just before that in 2019. So I was looking for a pet photographer. He was sick. He had heart failure,
Mhm.
and I was looking for a specific pet photographer because Mac was a bit particular with people. He wasn't
Mhm.
he was very funny with new people.
Got
And only people who kind of understand dogs' body language would be able to open up
Yeah.
and get his personality. And
Mhm.
I wanted to find a pet photographer that would be able to capture a photograph that shows his personality, but also my connection with him. And I couldn't find an outdoor pet photographer. There was a studio pet photographer, and we got the photos done
Mhm.
pretty much 24 hours before he passed away. And I treasure those photos. I have them on my wall, but it just didn't capture his personality the way I wanted it. And so
Mhm.
that's why I decided to do pet photography. Now, in context, I was doing photography. I've been doing photography. I was doing it as a hobby since 2007.
Mhm.
And then I sort of done it as a side hustle alongside my public service job in the government. So
Mhm.
I did like events here and there, newborn families, weddings, all of it. Like I've done, but I wasn't charging properly. I was probably charging $250 and getting all the photos, and then events like charging very little. So I never made any real money from photography.
Mhm.
And I never thought I could make any real money. After Mac passed away, I thought, you know what? There needs to be an outdoor pet photographer who really understand like their dog's language and body
Mhm.
language and really capture their personality. So I was like, okay, let's change your pet photography. But then I had in my mind, I was like, oh, but if I change your pet photography, I'm not going to get as many clients.
Mhm.
Like I'm already not getting as many clients.
Yeah.
And if I niche down further, because you
Yeah.
think that if you niche down even more,
Yeah.
you're
You
going to
lose
lose
the
more
business.
clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought, you know what? Let's try it out. Updated my website, and then I hired a business coach,
Mhm.
and that was the best decision ever.
Mhm.
And she helped me change my business model, the pricing, and yeah, and it just from then, that's from probably around September 2020, I
Mhm.
started getting more session shoots, and then in 2022 February, so a year ago, actually, probably March or 4 years ago, I quit my job in the government, and I'm doing this full time.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what was the hardest part of starting out in this particular industry?
I think it's trying to find the clients and also uh, positioning yourself. So photography is a really saturated market
Market.
because
Yeah.
you can pick up a camera and call yourself a photographer.
Mhm.
And everyone who's doing this as a side hustle or, a hobby and whatever, um, what I've been finding is that they're just looking at other people and what they're charging and go, oh, the price
Mhm.
seems to be this much, so that's what I'm going to charge.
Yeah.
But having been doing the business and learning it from business coach, really your pricing should be reflected on what your cost of doing business is, what your target income goal is, and what your capacity is. And you work it backwards from there. But not many people, probably not a lot of
Yeah.
people at all, do that. And I think that's probably the struggle is like, how do you compete with all the other
Mhm.
photographers who are charging a smaller amount when you're charging more? And then also the big a mindset. Mindset is the biggest issue because for me, taking that leap from full-time, like doing a full-time job, so doing this on the side of a
Mhm.
full-time job and having that constant secure income from my full-time job,
Yeah.
leaving that completely and relying on this as my sole income source because
Yeah.
I haven't got a partner.
Mhm.
I'm the only income maker, so I can't rely on anyone else.
Mhm.
That was a big mindset belief, I
Mhm.
guess, work that I had to go through because, that's probably why it took me a couple of years to do it
Mhm.
because my brain goes, "Well, what if you fail? What if
Yeah.
you don't get any bookings? What if you don't make any money? You're gonna go
Mhm.
homeless. You're gonna go homeless and die in a ditch." I mean,
Mhm.
like, your brain
Yeah.
goes to
Extreme.
terrible
Mhm.
like, terrible extreme, right? That's not gonna happen.
Yep.
Like, I've got a house. You can always get another job. But your brain goes towards all the worst case scenarios, and I've
Mhm.
just had to learn going, "Well, what if it works out?"
Yeah.
And if it does, you know how to get clients. You've done it
Yeah.
before. You can work it out. You can
Mhm.
figure everything. So I think that was probably the big challenge. The biggest challenge is the mindset, and it's constant. It's
Yeah.
ongoing for sure. But yeah, so I guess that's how I got started in photography.
Mhm.
So it's been 6 years overall now, and then in the last probably couple of years, probably a bit more, I've also been like in the education space, so coaching and mentoring other
Mhm.
pet photographers. Both I do some photography workshops because I'm a Sony Australia brand imaging advocate, so I do some
Mhm.
workshops and webinars on their Sony Scene platform. And then I do a lot of the business coaching through my own
Mhm.
brand. So business coaching, marketing, pricing, sales, all that around the business itself of pet photography.
Got it. And once you got into this industry, right? Um, how hard was it to learn bookkeeping?
Pardon?
How hard was it to learn bookkeeping and accounting and taxes?
Oh, well, okay. My background, I did my CPA, my certified practicing accounting
Mhm.
certification. So I had a finance slash accounting background.
Mhm.
And then after that, I worked as a business analyst.
Oh,
So
nice.
that really came in handy. And I think that's probably the advantage that I have against a lot of other photographers
Mhm.
is that not only I know the creative side of photography, but I've got like all the business mindset because I got that background from the accounting and finance and managing money.
Mhm.
So that part of the business is actually like pretty easy, although I do outsource my accounting to
Mhm.
a bookkeeper and accountant because I don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
So,
it's a laborious
um,
process.
yeah,
If you have ever heard your kids say, I'm bored, or you have been looking for something that gets everyone off the couch and having fun together, I have got a great idea for it. QR Hunter turns any home, backyard, park, or party into your own customizable scavenger hunt. You simply place the reusable QR code tiles wherever you want, create clues in the app, and let the adventure begin. It's a fun way to get everyone moving, solving puzzles, and working together instead of just staring at another screen. Whether it's a birthday party, family game night, a holiday gathering, or even a classroom activity, every hunt can be completely different, so you can use it again and again. To get started, search for the official QR Hunter QR code tiles on Amazon. Then, download the QR Hunter app and create your first scavenger hunt in just a few minutes. That's QR Hunter on Amazon. Check it out and start creating adventures your family will actually remember. The links are in the description, so go check it out.
so in terms of how easy it is, I can like certainly I can do it, but
Mhm.
I just hate doing it. So
Yeah.
I've outsourced it because, but I also made sure that I understood my whole numbers
Mhm.
and I check everything. Like when it comes to the preparation, I check
Yeah.
everything that I do. and I always pick up correction. But yeah, I outsource my bookkeeping, but I do find it like easy, and I also run. I don't know if you know the Profit First book
Mhm.
by Mike Allowick. So I run that Profit First method as well
Got it.
to manage my finances and cash flow.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most um the most headache, right, for a new business is to figure out money and what's accounting, right? Because,
Yeah,
you know, usually people get into photography as a business from a creative standpoint,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So have you met somebody who had to navigate that in like a challenging manner?
Yeah, well, I think that's where a lot of photographers struggle, and I think that's I guess in terms of my coaching is a lot of people they struggle
Mhm.
with the business side of things. They can take beautiful photos. They've got amazing photography skills, creativity, but then when it comes to running the business, that's where they get stuck.
Yeah.
The admin, the marketing. Like marketing is such a big, I think,
Yeah.
a big thing,
Yeah.
and that where a lot of photographers lack the skills is
Mhm.
marketing. And yeah, I hear from a lot of photographers like, oh yeah, I'm marketing. I'm posting on Instagram,
Yeah.
but I'm not getting any clients. It's like,
Yeah.
are you
That's on
doing it?
marketing.
I was like, that's one type of marketing. It's a passive marketing,
Yeah.
but that's not like if you thinking of marketing, there's more to marketing than just posting on Instagram.
Because that's
And
like
that
social media management more than marketing.
exactly. Yeah. So that's part of the stuff that I now do to help other pet photographers is telling them like, this is what marketing is. You have
Mhm.
to there's different parts of marketing,
Yeah.
in person. You've got the passive marketing, active marketing. So
Mhm.
I teach that currently. I've run workshops for the last few months on that, and then my
Got it.
master coaching. I run through a lot of that as well. So, but that's probably the biggest struggle, and that's probably where my business like grew so fast. Like
Mm.
when I was doing it part time, in 2021. So 2020 is when I hired my business coach. 2021 is when I started like actually making lots of like more money. So my
Mhm.
revenue was about probably 80,000 or 90,000 then.
Mhm.
And then 2022 at the start is when I quit my job and that revenue doubled to 190,000
Nice.
in a year. Um,
Yeah.
so like that's pretty much within, 2, 3 years,
Mhm.
um, and it's kinda plateaued at about, like, I think last year was about 300,000. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely, like, it's doable to make, full-time living, and I know, like, I still hear at the moment, everyone's struggling, cost of living has gone up, the
Mhm.
economy, what's happening in the world, and yeah, that's true, like, there's a lot of things happening in the world, but
Yeah.
I think there are still people
Mhm.
out there who are valuing photography
Yeah.
and who are still willing to invest.
Yeah.
And if you actually have the right messaging, positioning of your photography, and that's
Mhm.
where, again, that was the big thing is like, how do I position myself and brand myself to
Yeah.
be different compared to other photographers? Because I'm probably the most expensive pet photographer in my
Mhm.
area. And
Yeah.
Canberra isn't a big city.
Mhm.
It's probably smaller compared to other cities, right? It's
Yeah.
smaller than Sydney. Um, and as I said, my average like sale is about 2,600, 2,800 right now.
Mhm. Got it.
And yeah.
And how early on you were like very adamant on pricing? You're like, I'm only going to work in this particular range.
Yeah, so I think with pricing, as soon as I started that business model, and I've increased it. So at the start, obviously my average sale wasn't as high. It was more
Mhm.
around the $700 mark.
Mhm.
But now it's all about mindset. So I was like, well, this is
Yeah.
my pricing. Um, this is what I charge. I've calculated that based on my cost of doing business and what I want to pay myself so that I can pay for my living expenses, pay for all my dogs' vet bill because I've got 3 dogs. They're the
Mhm.
ones who's I'm spending the most money on,
Yeah.
um, and be able to, live pretty well off. and also based on the number of sessions I want to do each year. And this is the price. And I think as a business, a lot of people are like, oh, people can't pay, or just pay what you want. Well, you need to work out really like what is sustainable for you, because if you can't run a business, you're not going to be able to provide the service.
Yeah.
And that's also no use to your clients.
Yeah. And when you shifted right from working full time to full time being a business owner, how insane was that shift?
Oh,
Because
it was
all of a sudden you're doing
yeah,
everything.
yeah, it was, because you know what? Before I had my job as a backup, right? In a
Mhm.
way. That's the thing. I think having that job, that security, it was a security blanket, because
Mhm.
then I was like, if I don't get bookings, it's okay because I'm getting paid anyway.
Yeah.
But then leaving that and focusing on the business full time, going, well, no, I need to make money.
Yeah.
And for me to make money, I need to do everything in the business. So I'm not
Mhm.
just doing the photography, I'm not just doing the editing, interacting with clients. I have to do marketing as well. I
Yeah.
have to know how to do social media.
Mhm.
I have to know how to, basically do everything in the business. And there's like so many hats that you're doing.
Yep.
But I also learned to outsource and delegate from early on.
Mhm.
So I hired a VA before I left my full time job.
Mhm.
And that was before I was ready. My brain was saying, you can't afford to hire a VA. You're not getting as many bookings.
Mhm.
Why are you hiring a VA? But I'm glad I did it. I think I've heard someone said, hire before you're ready.
Yeah.
Because when you hire when you're ready, it's too late.
Yeah.
So that was probably the biggest game changer, and the best decision I did was to hire someone. She
Mhm.
did a lot of my social media, my admin. Now, because my previous position was a business analyst,
Mhm.
again, my business mind, I pretty much recorded things as I go sometimes, of things that I might be thinking of delegating. So
Mhm.
I had like SOPs kind of prepared as
Mhm.
I onboarded her. So I'll be like, here you go. This is some videos I've recorded. This is
Yeah.
what I want you to do. And it was pretty good. Like, I mean, there was a bit of back and forth training her. But
Mhm.
as I was training her, I was also getting her to help me create those SOPs as well. So then when I then changed VA, because after about a year or so, it didn't work out. So I had to hire a new VA.
Mhm.
And that transition, like, I didn't need to train my new VA,
Yeah.
because I had my old VA train her and had all the SOPs there. And she pretty much just looked at all the videos, and any task that I want to outsource, I start just recording it as I go and talking to myself and
Mhm.
recording a loom. And then that way I've got it in there already.
Yeah. Now let's
Yeah.
talk about vibe coding and the whole reason you got it into it.
Yes, vibe coding. Yes. So AI has been a game changer in the business. I've been using, I guess, AI, everyone's afraid of AI. I think photography industry is probably one of the biggest affected things by AI, because people will go, oh, now everyone's just generating AI photo.
Mhm.
But I think there's things that AI can't actually generate, like creating the experience.
Mhm.
That's where us photographers really need to stand out, like actually about focusing on the experience. AI doesn't know, like, AI can't read your animal's body language. It can't know what, specific quirks that they do.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
and so, yeah, in terms of AI, I mean, I use AI to help me with my editing workflows. I use Imagine AI
Mhm.
to expedite my, basic editing in Lightroom. What used to take me 2-3 hours now takes me like 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, in terms of that as well, but I've been using AI and vibe coding to help me with my coaching business. So I've vibe coded several apps, and also actually with my photography. So I haven't published it yet to my client, but
Mhm.
I've vibe coded an app where I guess in a way it's my photography studio app, where they can go onto this web app. They can find everything from all the information about my studio address, preparation tips before their session, their session guide, what to bring for their session, how to prepare for their session, all the product information that we covered at the consultation. All of that is in there so they can refer to it rather than trying to find all the documents that I send them via email.
Got it.
And then another vibe code app that I did was a pricing calculator. So this is to work out what to charge for your business. So
Yeah.
talking about it's going to add. So it's going to ask you what's your cost of doing business, your target income goal, how many sessions you want to do in a year, and then it'll calculate your target average sale from that. So I vibe coded that because before I was
Nice.
just using an Excel and they had to like put that in, but I vibe coded that, and people can just use that. And it's so easy because I think people like, what's vibe coding? I'm not a developer. Yes, I do know a little bit of coding, but I'm not a developer. So it's just using simple English, basic prompts.
Yeah, natural
And just,
language. Yep.
just basic language, but really providing a lot of details in terms of the context, what you want. What does done mean? What does done look like? What is like what it shouldn't do?
Yeah.
And all the guardrails in that. And and just reiterate as you go. And then if there's errors, like there's a few times where it's like it didn't work, I'm like, this doesn't work. Here's a screenshot. Fix it, please, because I have no idea why it's not working. And it's it just goes in the back and works out. Oh, I need to fix this coding. It's like, great, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you seem to be more into AI, right? And putting it into work in terms of just in your business, right? So let me ask you this: from an opposite perspective, um, how long until AI takes over photography?
Ooh. I don't know if it can even I don't think it will take over photography. As I said, it's all about the experience that we provide and it's a connection. And I think that's where photographers need to lean on more. It's a connection that we build with our clients. AI is not going to be able to, I guess, interact with that, create connection. I mean, who knows? But I believe that we still have that advantage.
For
The
how many
human,
years, though? Like looking at the current trajectory of AI development, for how many years do you think you'll have that edge?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I can't say. I mean, AI has definitely gone, but and in some parts of the industry like headshots,
Yeah,
they're
it's
probably
gone.
getting affected a lot now.
Yeah,
Like
because you're just a prompt away from getting a good photo.
exactly, exactly. But I still don't think I still think there's a space for photographers because like I've tried those prompts and I've tried, creating AI and I was like, it doesn't look like me fully.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, it's still like, I know that's not me. And I can
Yeah.
tell when someone uses an AI generated image.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think it has gone quite far in terms of, what it can do. But I think there's still parts of it that it can't do that us human has the advantage of, and that's the emotional connection
Mhm.
with our clients.
Yeah. And in when coming to coaching and the other part of your business, right? How did you start that, and what was the intent behind that?
I started coaching because a lot of pet photographers have been reaching out to me, asking for help, asking for
Hmm.
advice. I thought there's a need in the market for that. And there's already several established photography business coach, and pet photography business coach that's been in the industry for many, many years.
Hmm.
And I guess my imposter syndrome comes through at times because I was like, well, who am I to coach and mentor?
Yeah.
I've only been in the industry for 6 years. I've only been doing this. But then I have built a successful business. I've pretty
Yeah.
much grown to multi six figures within the space of 2-3 years.
Hmm.
And I come from a different, I guess, background from not the creative one, my business. And I've got my unique point of view, stuff that yes, I've learned for others, but I'm also applying it my way in my
Hmm.
unique view. And I thought, you know what? This is a gap where, people are teaching a lot more about this photography and how to take better photos. And also there's a lot of like general photography business coach, but only a couple or two that
Mhm.
focuses on photography, and there's no one that's specifically covering marketing. And that's really where I've been trying to hone in is, teaching photographers going, well, using marketing and also using AI to help them with the marketing as well.
Mhm.
And so I ran one of the workshops that I ran was using AI to build a lead magnet, like doing brainstorming for lead magnet ideas. But I showed them how I built a lead magnet
Mhm.
using AI, vibe coded. Um, and that's
Got it.
something different than just the generic, here, download a PDF guide or
Yeah.
download an ebook. Like, people just don't have time anymore to read ebooks and
Yeah.
guides. And so how can we stand out and, using AI to brainstorm ideas? And one of the, I think, ideas that came up for me was like a session vision board planner. And
Mhm.
it vibe coded this vision board planner for me. And I was like, this is a really cool, lead magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I started. And um, I started actually by just going, putting out an idea out there about a workshop, because the thing is, like, I wanted to build something, but I didn't want to just create a workshop or a course. And
Mhm.
then after spending hours and hours and weeks on it and
Mhm.
then putting it out, no one wants to buy it
Yeah.
because it's
There's no
not the right.
interest in the market. Yeah.
Yeah. So I put out, well, what is the main pain points? Main pain point
Mhm.
was the marketing. So I put out a call like on organic. I think I did maybe a couple of ads here and there, boosted posts. It's like, I'm thinking of creating this marketing workshop. I'm looking for 8 beta participants.
Mhm.
Um, here's a wait list. So I build a wait list, and then I got 40 people on that. And then I released the beta, like release it to. So this is it for the first 8 people. And I think I charge like $500,
Mhm.
and if I sell it, then I'll make it. And
Yeah.
within 3 hours, I filled the 8 spots.
Got it.
And so I was like, okay, people are buying it, so now I have to actually make the workshop.
Yeah.
And that's when I started the workshop, and that was the first beta one, which then I got feedback from that, and then I've been reiterating it and running it. I think I've run it about 4 or 5 times now.
Got it.
Yeah.
And what's your kind of final advice or tip to somebody who's starting in this industry?
In the pet photography industry,
Yeah.
um, make sure you work out really who your ideal client is, who you're serving, and not just, oh yeah, I'm serving people who love their dogs. Like, really get detailed on who it is and working out, well, what makes you different and how do you serve them? Like, what makes you different and unique, and why should they choose you?
Mhm.
And understanding your ideal clients, make
Yeah.
sure that pricing is right from the start, because if you don't charge cheap and then you work out, I can't do this consistently because I'm going to have to do 100 sessions, a month to actually make a living out of this, and you're going to be burnt out by doing that.
Yeah.
Then you increase your price and then you get no clients.
Mhm.
This is why I like need to start your pricing right from the start and just build that value and always communicate the value. And I
Mhm.
think that's where people struggle, is communicating the value of pet photography, why it's
Yeah.
important to print those photos. I mean, I don't just sell digital files. And when people go, oh, do you do digitals for cheaper? And I said, I do digital files, but it's going to cost 1,000, $1,700 for 8. And they're like, that's so much. The photographer down the road is $300 and they give me all the digitals. That's totally fine. But for me, there's a lot of work that goes
Mhm.
behind the scene. And they, if they're charging $300 to give all the digital files,
Yeah.
they're
You're
probably
talking to
spending
me.
weeks and paying themselves $3 an hour.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's fine. That's not my ideal client. And
Mhm.
also learning to say, no,
Mhm.
and to actually acknowledge that not everyone is going to be your ideal client.
Yeah. Thank
And
you so
that,
much for that. Yeah.
yeah, I hope that helps.
Yep. I hope that helps a lot of people who are trying to, get into the market. And yeah. Thank you so much, Ina, for being here. It was interesting to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you have achieved a lot in a very short span of time, which gives you kind of authority to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And to my audience, guys, all of Ina's links will be in the description. So if you are interested in, you know, pet photography or even photography just in general, I think you can
Yeah.
reach out to Ina. She'll be able to help you out. And she seems like a very lovely person to talk to. So yeah, thank you so much, Ina, for being here and taking your time.
Thank you so much, Ganesh, for having me on. I really appreciate it. And thanks for, yeah, it was really lovely meeting you.
Yep, thanks so much. And to my audience, guys, this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for being here and taking your time and listening to us. And yeah, until next episode, just have fun and yeah, we'll see you soon. Take care.